cannot believe it is 2025. Not even a year ago, I was telling myself, you know what, stuff it. Let's just follow my path. Let's just follow this little desire I have and start a podcast. And now to say that I am recording my 7th episode, a year ago me would have literally looked you in the face and laughed so loud because she would have not ever thought that I've actually gone ahead with this. Honestly, I actually really would have liked to record this episode a little bit sooner than what I am now, because I think it's been like at least a month in between. But obviously I went over east to go and visit my family, and when I got back when I got back home, went straight into work, and I've just been so ridiculously busy. And yeah, I guess one thing led to another. Before we get into this episode, this is my podcast where I'll be talking about all the things we as a collective can do to enhance the relationship that we have with the world and with ourselves. But it's very important that you do have an open mind, because some of the opinions I do discuss, you may not exactly agree with it or understand it, which is all okay, because this is what this podcast is all about. It's about expanding our minds with curiosity and viewing the world through different perspectives every single day. Before we get into this though, I just want to give a little recap. So for those that haven't watched any of the other episodes, the first 20 episodes of this podcast is inspired by this wonderful book that I read called Mason's Way, The 20 Universal Ways of Oneness, which is the one right next to me. And every single episode, I talk about each of the 20 characteristics, which basically resembles the universal law of oneness. Now, for us all to embody the first universal law, as per there are 12 laws, like law of attraction, that sort of stuff. So for us to embody the first universal law, we need to embody 20 characteristics that is involved within that law. And just like anything in terms of law and structure, obviously you're going to have a strong foundation. Just as with the 12 universal laws, you need to understand the law of oneness first before you can fully embody the universal law of attraction. So the same thing with the universal law of oneness. You need to embody the first characteristic, which is responsibility, and completely embody it before you can embody the next way. So kind of like going to school. You can't just choose to go into year 12, only sit there for 1 year and say, okay, I'm graduating. Like, no, you've got to start at year 1, year 2, year 3. And obviously then once you've passed year 12, that's when you graduate and then you can move on. So same thing with the 20 Universal Ways of Oneness. Anyway, that's for all the other episodes. So if you haven't watched them, please do click them. But for those people that have, welcome back. And we would just jump right into the Way of Compassion. I want you to think about the time where you were very stressed or you were very upset. And it could be for any reason. You know, something as simple as not feeling well. Or could have been something as massive as a family member passing away. Or maybe not getting that promotion you hoped for. Whatever it is, I want you to go back to that time where you were experiencing all of the emotions associated with that scenario, and you just really wanted someone to listen to you, that you wanted them to offer you divine compassion, where you just wanted to vent and feel like you were seen and heard. It sounds very simple, but if you think about it, when is the last time that that's actually happened without that person A, giving you unsolicited advice, B, trying to fix and solve the problem for you, or C, listen to you and have no judgment regarding your circumstances, have no input. They literally just listen to you. Or how often do you do those things? You just listen to someone. You don't have an input. You don't have a judgment. You don't have that thing in your head telling you, oh, well, they probably wouldn't be so upset over this if they did this instead. No, none of that. If you just listen to them, because that's not active listening. I was talking about active listening in another episode. So again, this just shows to you, obviously, yeah, you need to embody all of the ways before you can fully embody the way of compassion. Because if you have active listening, you would listen to them and have no input, right? So you wouldn't judge. You would hold the space for them. So it just really shows you the domino effect of how important it is to understand why the universal ways are taught in this step-by-step process and why responsibility is first. And also why the way of compassion is seventh. So going back to what I was saying before, how often does it happen that people just listen to you or you listen to them? It really just shows us how far we are from elevated consciousness as a society. Although there is hope, because I'm sure you watching this now would agree that we have seen a much higher level of consciousness arising and, people becoming better, doing better things, working together as a collective. So yeah, there are positives, but we all need to still look at our shadows and say, okay, well, how can I improve? Anyway, back to what I was saying before. When is the last time you held pure compassion for someone or you received pure compassion? And that's what we're going to uncover today. And one of the most important things that I want you to note, if you don't have compassion for yourself or know what it feels like to be compassionate for yourself, you can't have compassion for anyone else. Not true compassion. So that's already step one, a little homework for you to work on. Hold that space for yourself. Have compassion for yourself and learn what it means to be a compassionate person. Do that for yourself. Your life is going to change. Your interactions with people are going to change. Your connections with everyone around you will change. But you've got to have that for yourself first. There are two things I want to highlight. Because when you think of the word compassion, a lot of people misplace compassion with the word sympathy. And they are not the same. And when we live in lower levels of consciousness, most people mistake one for another. Having sympathy, meaning feeling sorry for someone for what they're experiencing, is actually very disempowering to them and at borderlines enabling. Whereas having compassion means you see and acknowledge their pain. Understand that they are in fact in pain and you have the desire to support them lovingly while they heal and move through whatever emotional turmoil they're going through. But having compassion is never the desire of wishing they weren't going through pain. And pain is the only emotion that can really ultimately make us evolve and change. So desiring for someone to not go through pain is also desiring for them to never learn, to never evolve, to never grow. Can you see the difference? I just really want to read you guys this little cursor from the book, Mason's Way, of what the author Rachel has to say about compassion. And this is just going to really be a great foundation to start on with this episode, just so you guys can fully understand as to where I'm going with this and the reasoning behind it and how we can embody compassion just a little bit more, because we all need it. Compassion is the ability to offer patience, presence, and connection synchronously. It's being divinely spacious and understanding. It's not closing your heart, contracting, or shutting down in reaction to your own or someone else's pain. It is offering yourself up in an expansive way with heart energy. You morph into the beginningness of spaciousness, like the cosmos. And in that spaciousness of cosmic compassion, another person has the space, the freedom, the love, the divine support, and patient encouragement to process their own misery. It's freedom while moving through pain. Compassion is loving and gentle while simultaneously being empowering. Compassion lets others know that they are not alone, but never enables. Compassion allows for loving understanding and support while believing in the person that he or she can rise above what they've experienced and grow into a wiser, more powerful being because of what they are going through. That is just amazingly well written, because that is literally what compassion is. when you have compassion for someone, it doesn't mean that you feel so sorry for what they're experiencing. Let's use the example as a friend that's going through a breakup. Having compassion for them doesn't mean that you feel so sorry because they're hurting that you as a friend enable their toxic behavior. Let me use this as a scenario. Your friend breaks up with their partner and it turns sour so quickly that it's so toxic, and those two are now belittling each other, gaslighting, doing things to hurt each other out of spite because they feel that they've been wronged. And you as the friend feel so sorry for your friend that has to go through this, always chooses your friend's side, enables them and says, yeah, well, he cheated on you first, so may as well go and cheat on him. No, you're enabling. That's not compassion. Or feel like you have to help them and consistently tell them what to respond with. Or believing that they are too weak to handle the outcome themselves. And because you believe it, you are energetically making them think that they aren't powerful enough to handle the situation by themselves. So they're going to go into victim consciousness. And they're going to run to mum and dad like they normally would, or whoever they go to for support. And they're going to always be dependent on other people and not on themselves. They aren't going to know what the right decision is without consolidating another person. See how far enabling in friendships can go? Having compassion means that, yes, you hold space to let someone vent and let them be how they need to be, but you're also a really good friend that gives them loving support and guidance, but you do not intervene and you do not do it in a forceful way. You do it in an encouraging way. And most importantly, you never, ever, ever think that they are not capable, because that's not compassion. As what I would say normally when I help friends out in difficult situations, you need to awaken the beast within them. And when I say awaken the beast, I mean the divine as feminine power as what we are if you are a divine feminine, obviously masculine if you are a masculine watching this. But you need to awaken their divine power within themselves and remember who the fuck they are. Because we are all magical beings, divinely, godly, source, whatever you think has put you here. Even the Matrix, it doesn't matter. Or a fucking monkey that's evolved, it doesn't matter. We are all a particle of a universal consciousness. Within its core is we are so powerful. We need to believe it. We need to see it. So that's your job. Your job is to be there for that person when they come to you to get the divine compassion and support from you, but also awaken the freaking beast because they need to remember who they are. We live in a universe that is of cause and effect. What you create is what you see. So going back to what I was saying before, having sympathy for someone, yeah, does sound like a good thing to do, but it's actually really not if you compare it to compassion. Having sympathy means that you are wanting to take away their pain. You see your friend not powerful enough to process whatever they're going through, so you wish for their pain to go away, meaning they don't activate the self-love, the self-respect, self-encouragement, the self-drive. You don't encourage those sort of qualities to come out of them. You just wish for them to not experience what they're experiencing. You also believe that they are incapable of healing themselves, of getting themselves out of the situation, of getting them into a better position at work or in a better relationship. Whereas compassion encourages the discomfort. You acknowledge and provide unconditional understanding towards their pain. You don't have any input. You just hold the space for them. If they need a hug, you give them a hug. If they need a shoulder to cry on, you be that shoulder. You don't have any input regarding their experience because they're the ones ultimately experiencing it, not you. So having compassion means that you allow them that understanding. It means that you help and support them and you push them into the directions, and you also give them the little harsh reality checks when required, but in a loving way, definitely not in a belittling way, in an egotistical, I'm better than you way. Now, the cause and effect of having sympathy for someone, you are stopping their learning experience. Sympathy has a weak mind associated with the word. When you have sympathy, you are taking away someone's power. You're enabling them to stay in an emotional state where they stay dependent. They have to have mummy or daddy to help them make these big decisions. Oh, they'll help me. They'll help me pay rent. Oh, I'll just run to mum and she'll give me a hug and tell me that I'm the greatest person ever and then I feel good. No, that's enabling. We're past that point. The cause and effect of compassion is everything that I just said in the polar opposite. Love, encouragement, trust that they know how to get out of what they're going through. You give them space and allow them to make choices on their own and to live through their own mistakes, but empower them to make better choices next time. It's a no-brainer. You don't judge. And of course, you respect their choices. So those are some examples of the difference between sympathy and compassion and the cause and effect of those two different vibrational energies. I just want to divert a little bit because through reading Mason's Way, it's also helped me realize that compassion has not only just a divine feminine trait of nurturing within itself, but it also has the polar opposite, the divine masculine trait of safety and stability. Meaning, when we embody true compassion, we actually balance our internal world, the yin and the yang. This is a true reflection of the way of oneness. Being able to nurture, be stable, be secure in every encounter that you interact with, which requires compassion. A little earlier I said, if you don't know how to be compassionate to yourself, you don't know how to have compassion for anyone else. And that's where you start. Being compassionate means that you are automatically nurturing towards the situation, towards yourself, but you also provide yourself the safety and stability. So there's a little cheat code in there for you. To be able to have compassion for yourself, you need to have those 3 qualities within yourself every single time. Now, talking about the masculine and feminine aspects of our life, the duality. Now, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because this episode will well and truly be 5 hours long. But I'm just going to say this one thing. In regards to the masculine and the feminine aspect of our life, of our world that we are living in, men are being taught to have more feminine qualities and females are being taught how to have more masculine qualities. Now, I'm not saying that that is all in all horrible, but when we do that and we forget the qualities that we already automatically embody within ourselves, talking about male and female, obviously the 2 opposites, if we forget those qualities that we are great at, that is where the problem starts. Men don't need to be more feminine. I'm just going to say this once, and this is just my opinion. You may well and truly disagree, and that's okay. Again, this is what this podcast is all about. Having an open mind, right? Exploring the world through different perspectives every single day, right? So, men need to be more masculine. Females need to be more feminine. Because when you embody the thing that so wholeheartedly comes automatically to you, I cannot stress this enough. Yeah, I myself am a go-getter. I was raised by a very, very strong father figure, and he wanted me and still wants me to conquer the world. That is what a father wants for his daughter. But also what that did is that raised a little miss, I can do it myself. Not saying that there is entirely something wrong with that. But when I over exaggerate that quality, the go-getter, the builder, the stabilizer, all of the above, when I over exaggerate that quality, I'm stepping further away from the thing that I was born to be. I'm meant to receive. I'm meant to expand. I'm meant to multiply. That is the divine trait of the feminine. And then when little go-getter Carla comes out, I repel that. So all I'm saying is we need to learn how to use both of those qualities in a balanced way. Because little miss, I can do it myself, can also sit back and let people do it for me. But understanding the balance. Like they say, everything in moderation, everything in balance. It's exactly the same with the divine feminine and masculine aspect. That was my rant over. Now tying that back with the way of compassion, to have true compassion, you need to operate and function on the balance feminine, which is nurturing, and then the balanced masculine, which is safety and stability. If you operate in those two dualities combined, that is when you can have divine and wholehearted compassion in every single human being, in every single encounter that you have in this lifetime. You can do it. We can all do it. I have so much faith in society as a whole. This is literally why I'm doing this podcast. It's literally why Pursuit of Purpose is even the name. Because I have a purpose. I want to help and elevate the consciousness because we are very damn low. And I wake up every single day on such a high. Honestly, ask anyone that actually really truly knows me. I am always 90% a very happy, positive person. To my core, think that what we experience is so magical. I just want everyone to experience what I'm experiencing. And this is why I so aligned with this book, because I understand, although I'm still learning, and none of this I'm saying that I'm perfect. I'm still learning, and I definitely still learn all these 20 ways, even though I understand them and I'm preaching them to you. I am still every single day trying to learn them. Like what Rachel says in the book. The first 7 ways is the most hardest to learn, that it takes more than likely multiple lifetimes to actually embody ourselves. So if you don't get it this time, that's okay, but just keep trying. And that's for everyone. If we just all try and embody these 20 characteristics, it's literally, I sound so stupid when I say you need to be responsible. You need to have patience. You need to have compassion. You need to have connection. You need to see the truth. I know it sounds freaking stupid. I know. But why is this a thing then? If it sounds so stupid, then why are we not embodying these ways? Not so stupid anymore, is it? Compassion is the ability to offer patience, presence, and connection simultaneously. Compassion teaches us that their experience could have well and truly been ours. So count your lucky stars, because you don't have to go through that. Or you have not yet gone through that. That is compassion. Being grateful for learning through other people's experiences as well means that you don't have any judgment. Because like I said, it well and truly could have been your experience. And if you have judgment over what someone is going through, you are probably reflecting a wound within yourself and putting it onto them. You judge them because you've done that before. Or you judge them because that's happened and you were hurt because of that action. Like I said before, like quite literally, however you perceive from whatever we came from, the Big Bang, apes, God, the universe, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose to believe in, if you only know yourself as a human being, you are trapped in a lower level of consciousness, meaning you compete instead of support. You dominate instead of lead. You suppress and despise. You focus on superficial things and define yourself in superficial ways. And you judge. These are aspects of a personality that doesn't know themselves on a soul level, or are even aware that they have a soul, or could well and truly be the person that completely denies the existence of a soul. But that's where the beauty in this lies. Self-awareness. When you become aware of when you express those sort of characteristics and you choose to react differently, those parts of you transcend and expand within you. And before you know it, you don't react or deliver yourself in that way anymore, because you have finally learned and uncovered the power within you. I cannot stress this enough. When you are operating from a divine aspect of yourself, how empowering is it to know that you can trust yourself, to know that you believe in yourself, to know that everything works out in your favor, even though it may not seem like a favor right now. But you know, again, you have to go through pain to learn and evolve so then you can have better experiences, right? So all of this is just part of the whole universe, and same as learning the 20 Universal Ways of Oneness. And when you reach that point, before you know it, you start to embody the next way of oneness, the way of harmlessness and gentleness. When you've reached that point, that means you are a person who have made a massive shift and you've gone through major transformations. But we've got to understand the first 7 ways completely. If you learn how to take responsibility for your life and your choices, you'll understand that choosing to not choose is still a choice. Therefore, you are solely responsible for the outcome of your experiences. You embrace patience as you await the experiences you wish to have. Recognize that those experiences will come only after you surrender to the outcome of your desires. You see the truth behind every scenario and you understand the reasoning behind every action. Become present with your desires and your current life experiences. Understand that you are connected to everyone and their struggles is just as much as yours. In doing so, you cultivate compassion for both your experiences and the experiences of others. Only then can you truly appreciate the divine qualities of harmlessness and gentleness. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. It's a new year, brand new challenges, brand new experiences, a completely different, evolving chapter that we're all unfolding. And I'm so grateful that you are here listening to me, contributing towards my purpose. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.